What causes cancer? Such a simple 3 words, but it becomes so complex. Let's take a few minutes in the opening of the show and talk about that a little bit. And then did you guys hear the flu shot this year is about what? 10% accurate or a little less? Do we take it? Don't we take it? I'll give you my take, but only you can make that decision with your doctor. Then Dr. Mark Stengler, a guy I love, is going to talk about nutritional supplements and the science behind them. You haven't met Dr. Michelle Lamassa Schrader, buddy of mine. She's awesome. She's talking about recall healing, right? Getting to the root of why you're really hurting all the time. All that and more, and I assure you a lot of fun on today's Know the Cause. My name is Doug Kaufman. For the past 40 years, I've dedicated my life and even my career to finding the root cause of disease. Join me in a team of physicians, pharmacists, and scientists, and soon you too will know the cause. You know, there's this agency that everybody, I get to speak to doctors at these symposiums, and everybody respects, and I'll read it to you, the International Agency for Research on Cancer. It's also called IARC, International Agency for Research on Cancer, IARC, IARC. It's very respected. Man, what these guys do for a living, and there's a lot of them, is they test things for their carcinogenic capabilities. And they know they have a list, and it's got to be 200 or 300 things. You know some of them. Cigarette smoking, right, is known to cause cancer. These I didn't know. Look at some of these. This is interesting. IARC, the International Agency for Research on Cancer, these things, and there's a few of them. I just brought these to your attention. Known to cause cancer. These are called Category 1 known carcinogens. And look at this. Alcoholic beverages. Do you guys know this? And let me ask you why. Every doctor you'll see says, glass of wine a night isn't going to hurt you. Men, couple of 12-ounce beers isn't going to hurt you. You saw the show? When I poured those into a 5-gallon drum, and I had like 7 of these 5-gallon drums for men drinking 2 beers a day for a year. Come to our senses, folks. Drinking alcohol isn't a good thing. I'm sorry. To me, it's poison. Next was aflatoxin. That's the mold made by aspergillus. It is a known carcinogen. Why did I put that there? It's in some of our corn supply. It's in some of our peanut butter. Moms, just be careful. That's all I'm saying. Then we go to estrogen. This wasn't there 10 years ago. Postmenopausal therapy, estrogen? You got to be kidding me, right? How many women are still on it? Just saying. I can't be the judge and jury, but talk to your doctor. When I go to these meetings with these doctors, you folks, I wish every one of you watching this right now were a fly on the wall. As a matter of fact, past few symposiums, there have been a few flies on the wall. I wish you could be one in here. These doctors are saying for every drug, there is a natural, safe, inexpensive remedy that seems to work just as well. Is the paradigm shifting? Are we coming out of the drug world? As we watched our parents get sick and die, as we're watching ourselves get sick and eventually die, are our kids saying, man, I just don't want to do drugs? Okay, I think the paradigm is shifting. Next one is Helicobacter pylori, that bacteria that grows in your gut. I mean, this, folks, the answer to this, I don't think, is to be on antibiotics forever. I'll tell you why in a minute. The answer is to put the good train in. Hep B, hepatitis C, HIV, human papillomavirus, eating processed meats, tobacco, tamoxifen, X-ray. Tamoxifen, did you have any idea? There's one missing. There's one missing from IARC. This is a good organization. In the book, Breast Cancer, Hope at Last, that I was just reading, Dr. Costantini signed to me 20 years ago, are penicillin and other antibiotics carcinogenic to humans? Certainly doctors wouldn't believe that such a risk exists for penicillin, an antibiotic given to billions of humans. However, it is by definition a mycotoxin, and mycotoxins do cause cancer. Why this fact has been left out of this? Look, I got to tell you, as a dad, my kids are all grown, but you as a mom, as a dad, younger than me, watching this right now, if I knew this, here's the next slide. If I knew this, I probably would talk to my pediatrician. Various studies have reported that frequent use of antibiotics, not a little bit, not 50%, significantly increases the risk of prostate, lung, breast, colorectal, and non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. Folks, that means if you're on lots of antibiotics, you have a significantly increased risk of getting cancer from them. It's so fascinating that books that are 20, 25 years old talk about this. And yet today, even our governing IARC, the International Agency for Research on Cancer, why? I will tell you this, and I probably told it to you 20 times here on TV. The mold is called penicillium. The poison it makes is called penicillin. Thank God it's a poison, because in tiny amounts, it kills tiny bacteria. It's a good thing. It saved a lot of lives. But have we come to the point in medicine where we are now abusing it by handing it out like candy? Just think, a lot of things cause cancer. Little did we know that our antibiotics might also. Probiotics, it's a great idea. You know, look, I hate to be cynical, but this whole flu shot thing, it needs to be rethought. A couple of years ago, they whetted all of our appetites with something called a flu mist, right? We were going to take the flu virus, put in a little salt water, and for only $80, squeeze it in our nose. And I kind of thought, finally. See, I worry about a plunger. I worry about an injection, because if I take something and swallow the flu vaccine, and it's not doing good, I drink Ipecac syrup and I vomit for 2 hours. But the stuff is out of my body. But if I use a plunger, it's a little strange, these shots. You push it in. That plunger isn't to pull it back out. 2 minutes later, you know, doc, I thought about it, and I don't think I want that flu vaccine. Well, by all means, let's pull it back out. Once you shoot it, it's in your bloodstream. And if it's thimerosal, if it's some of these other, what they call adjuvants, I'm a little worried about it. So the American Academy of Pediatrics, I pulled this off the other day, MedPage. I love MedPage. American Academy of Pediatrics, still a no to flu mist. The thing didn't work. It didn't work at all. But here, hey, we're going to be truthful to you guys. American Academy of Pediatrics is still saying no. Didn't work last year. What did we make? A few $1 billion on it. But we're taking it off the market in favor of the flu vaccine. We tend to pretend that this flu vaccine is going to help us, folks. Once again, I'm not trying to be cynical. I haven't taken it since I was in boot camp, I guess 1968. They gave all of us flu shots, all of us, you know, that would take it. This, someone, as a matter of fact, it was my producer, John. John just sent me this today. I don't know if you can now read it to you. This year's flu vaccine may be only 10% effective. Experts. Who in the world is an expert when the product you're pitching is 10% accurate? We can sell you this new Chevy, it'll run 10% of the time. Oh yeah, I'm a mechanic, I'm an auto expert. I mean, isn't it just, I'm 10% effective. They say in this, but 10% is better than nothing, so get your flu shot. Folks, that defies reasoning. That is not logical. If you ate 10% of your food, you'd die. But this shot is 10% effective. Why did the American Academy of Pediatrics say no to the flu mist? Because we love our patients and we wanted to take care of them. And we learned the last 2 or 3 years, although it yielded us millions, billions of dollars, it just didn't work. And we care way more about our patients than that. We're going to go back to the needle. And the needle this year is 90% ineffective. Answer me this. You guys went to college? Did you go to high school? Did you go to grade school? I hated, what was that called, junior high school. I wasn't doing well during that time in my life. My dad and mom were moving a lot. I went to a different 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, and 10th grade. So by junior high school, when the teacher would hand you the paper back, she'd always put it face down. And the guy in front of me, you know, Tommy, oh, good, another A. And then I said, well, Tommy, I'm at the other end of the spectrum. I got an F. What did you get if you got 10% of those questions answered right? A doctor made it through medical school by being really, really brilliant, twice my IQ. How does he handle being called an expert when the wares he is selling and mandating, soon these shots will be mandating are 10% accurate? Obviously, that doctor never saw 10%. I failed. Flu vaccine, you failed. Hey, you've got to try these hip stretches with my good friend Daniel Crouch. And then afterwards, how do you tell the doctor who's written 700-page book on the science behind nutritional supplements? There is no science. Okay, first comes Daniel, then Dr. Mark.
Hi everybody, I'm Daniel Crouch with Guiltless Goodies, delivering a fitness, health, make you feel better moment here. And I want to talk about hips. It's sort of a joke, and unfortunately it's an unfortunate joke, that when people get older, your hips, you need a hip replacement surgery, or you fell and you broke your hip. And I just want to talk about that for a minute. That's not something that has to happen. It's not like inevitably a tire is going to go out. Your hips don't have to go bad. They can stay strong. So I thought to myself, let's talk about a tip to help strengthen your hip. Well, that's pretty rhymed, cool. So what I want to do is I want to go ahead and get on your back like so, and I want to go ahead and put your heels together and let your knees kind of flop out to the side like this. Now, again, you know I'm a big proponent of posture, so I pull my shoulders low. Even though I'm laying on the ground, I'm not just, sleeping. I'm active. I have an active core. Neck is long. I'm holding that number 2 pencil between my shoulder blades, and I'm engaging my buns, okay? Then I'm putting my heels together and opening my toes. So basically, this is the basic positioning. Now, what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna raise my buns up as high as I can off the ground, and you're gonna feel an immediate tension, I guess is the word we're looking for, or an energy that is created in your hips. So we're just gonna go ahead and go up as high as we can, and then come down. And we're gonna go up as high as we can, and then come down. Hey, let's be real, it looks a little awkward, but it feels amazing, and it's totally worth it to keep your hips strong. So if we can do maybe 10 or 12 of these here, all the way up high, and when you feel it in the hip, take it about 1 millimeter higher. And what this does is it allows the blood that is circulating around your body to go to that area to vasodilate, which is just a fancy word for saying sending blood in. And with that blood comes oxygen, comes nutrients, and away go the toxins. So pumping blood into an area is really good for you, and I immediately feel like I just have more awareness. I can sit up a little taller. My hips are stronger right now. And if you were to do this on, maybe every other day for 20 to start, and then you were to go a little more, a little higher, you're definitely gonna strengthen your hips so that you're not gonna have hip issues now or anytime for that matter, because strength will chase away sickness. Strength will chase away accident. The truth is, we're all gonna fall, but how strong you are when you fall will determine how bad it is for you later on. So let's work on keeping your hips strong. So remember, go back down on the ground, give about 10 the first time, progress up to about 20, and you'll feel an immediate change in your hips. Thank you so much. We'll be back with new cool tips to keep you healthy.
You see my friend Dr. Mark Stengler sitting over there. I always love it when you're on here because I learn. I sit here like a sponge and absorb. This is a man who has mentored me with regarding, can you imagine writing a 10,000-page book, Prescription for Natural Cures? It's a book, a reference book you must have at home. Dr. Stengler is the author of that book. We were talking before we went on the air today about a guy named Mel Werbach. I don't even know if he's still alive. Very cool doctor. He's an MD, worked at UCLA, and he put together a compendium. It had to be 1,000 pages of psychological problems, health problems, and the deficiencies, nutrient deficiencies that existed in these patients. Then physiological deficiencies, vitamin deficiencies. And yet, boy, if one person gets a cold sore from vitamin C, that makes the headlines in medicine. Boy, you got to be careful of those supplements. Yet we're all taking them. And prescription drugs are killing people left and right. So, and that's a fact, folks. Medicine is now the 3rd leading cause of death in America, right behind cancer and heart disease. So these pills, we've got to think our way through. Sometimes, Dr. Stengler, we need a blood pressure medicine. Maybe we need statins. I can't believe that came out of my mouth. But for a period of time, where's your heart on, is there good enough science behind supplementation for us to believe in it?
Oh, absolutely. It really is a fallacy for anyone to claim nowadays that nutritional supplements don't have science behind them. I mean, Doug, we don't have dozens of studies. We don't have hundreds. We don't have thousands. We literally have tens and tens of thousands of studies. Now, granted, yes, like any other study in medicine, they vary in their degree of quality. But we have, we have well over several 100,000 studies on nutritional supplements. So when I hear, a doctor say, well, I don't use nutritional supplements, they don't have the science behind them, I know they're ignorant. They have not looked at the evidence. And so it's interesting, when I write a lot of my books, I'll see what some of the conventional websites are saying, some of the more well-known brand names, and I'll look and they'll have some comments on supplements, and then they'll have warnings on side effects. And when I go to look at their references, they either don't have references, they're all theoretical, or the references, there may be some small animal study or something that wouldn't be considered credible with a pharmaceutical medication.
At least they're in 12 font. It's not like a drug chart where they're in 2 font and you got to get a microscope to look at the side effects of these drugs.
So Doug, can you have side effects with supplements? Absolutely. Are they common? No. They're extremely rare. I'll give you an example. I have a wealthy patient of mine comes to see me twice a year in San Diego. He has me run thousands and thousands of dollars of blood work. Why? Because he has this kind of hobby where he tries different nutritional supplements. We spend an hour, he brings his supplements out, puts them on my desk. And I'm not exaggerating, this is the truth. He takes about 125 to 150 supplements.
A week?
No, a day.
A day. Okay.
A day.
Okay.
So I'm not recommending that, but here's the point. The point is I track all his blood work, liver enzymes, kidney function, cardiovascular markers, everything. You don't find one abnormality. If these things were so toxic, why do we not see on lab tests, which I do with the vast majority of my patients, I don't ever see problems with liver or kidney function, things like this. I see the opposite. I see improved function, which just makes sense because, again, our body doesn't work by magic. All the enzymes require nutrients to work properly. All the biochemical processes require these nutrients. So with an American diet devoid of nutrients, with the pollution which wipes out our nutrients, with all the pharmaceutical medications that deplete our body of nutrients, the stress levels, yeah, it's a wonder most people do better when they get more nutrients in their body.
It's just words like selective serotonin reuptake inhibitor, acid blocker. Maybe I don't want my acid blocked. Vitamin supplements, nutrients, amino acids, et cetera, minerals work with your physiology, as opposed to inhibiting or blocking your physiology. And folks, the road forks, certainly some people need supplementation or need medication, probably until they go see Dr. Mark Stengler. It's markstengler.com?
Yeah.
Still. Okay, fungus in your practice, a problem?
Big time.
Okay, good.
Big
good.
time.
I'm glad you're seeing that.
Every day in my practice, I have to address fungal problems with patients to restore their health.
What's a good antifungal supplement? Which one or two do you love most?
I get very good results with some of the more potent oregano extracts, caprylic acid, wormwood even can work good. Garlic extracts work really well.
And
probiotics, of course.
Of course, restoring the gut terrain. Boy, I could go on another 5 hours with you. Thank you for coming in today. It's so fascinating, folks. If you're on medications, talk to your doctor about titering them down and looking at good, healthy supplements that might work instead. Thank you, doctor.
Thank you.
Really good to see you again. Great photo of my guest right now. She has a PhD. Her name is Michelle Lamassa Schrader. She is the most amazing. Folks, when I go and lecture at these symposiums, or I attend a symposium, I look pretty much at the podium, but with Dr. Schrader, you don't look at the podium, you look at the audience. Hundreds, if not thousands of people out there. And when she's talking about recall healing, you get this. People saying, wow, you got to be kidding me. Are your diseases now in the present, or do some of them stem back from before you were born? Welcome. May I call you Michelle?
Yes,
Good.
please.
Michelle, you've always blown my mind when I see you up on the podium. Dr. Cowden, Lee Cowden, told me about you originally, and he pulled me in one of the rooms, wherever it was, St. Louis or something. He said, listen to what she's saying. Okay, Lee. And I sit back there, and it was amazing. Tell people what recall healing is.
Recall healing is what I consider is the foundation to finding the root of knowing the cause.
Knowing the cause,
it's
good name.
the root of why we have the things that we have in our body, from disease to simple things, even accidents and broken bones. It's the root of why.
Weight gain?
Weight gain, especially.
You told John and I in the green room an amazing story. Can you share that with the audience?
I sure can. So I learned about recall healing in 2007, and I have had a significant amount of weight, not all through my life, but particularly in my adult years. In my early 20s, I started gaining a bunch of weight, and I wasn't quite as athletic, and so I had about 100 extra pounds.
Wow.
And so over the last 10 years, I've eliminated, because our brain has a way, when we say we lose weight, or our brain will find the keys that we lost. So our brain will find the weight that we lost and
give it
pack it
back to
on,
us.
plus some, because we don't want to lose that weight ever again. We need it to help us to get through our life, and in terms of getting through our stressful situations.
Okay, take me through those neurons, because you said you kind of went backwards. When you wanted to lose all that weight, you kind of went backwards and said, no wonder I can't. What's some of the thinking there? What should the audience be looking out for?
So our brain will pack it on when we look in a mirror and we say, I have this and this and this and this and this to do. And your brain says, oh my gosh, you're too small to do this. There's only one of you. So let's pack it on to make you bigger so that you can handle all of this. And so understanding some of the root reasons why I had extra weight: abandonment, feeling alone, feeling unsupported, having to fight, different various things. If it's single moms, single dads, in our culture, we have a lot of aloneness. And people secretly suffer for that. We have to do it. We have to raise the kids, and we have to go to work, and we have to get the groceries, and we have to do all of these things. And so the weight will come on to help us with those things. And so when we can begin to identify and then grow our little girl or little boy self up with these resources, understanding, oh gosh, I have been alone, or I have been isolated, but I can give myself love, and I can give myself honor, and I don't have to carry this extra weight anymore.
So important. And that's overlooked. Dr. Cowden once said to me, I think in the future, maybe it's going to be 20, 30, 50 years, we may not be here, every doctor will take this component, this piece of the puzzle, into their exam rooms, right? Sure, you can look at that lump, you can see that the hip is sore. You can put a patient on anti-inflammatories, but why does it keep getting sore? There's something back there. A bully attacked you. You were raped. You were abused. You had a mom or dad that didn't know you, or you felt they didn't care about you. That's your work. I know doctors send you people. How do people get in contact with you?
So they can contact me through the Recall Healing USA website.
Recall Healing USA. Okay.
And that's one way to contact me.
You're writing a book.
I am writing a book.
Tell us the name of it.
It's called From the Root to the Fruit and Everything in Between, Love Heals All.
Love heals all. Wow, okay. This is an important message, folks. The reason I wanted to have Michelle on here was because I heard her words. I'm a Vietnam veteran. Stuff happened when I was 20 years old, probably shouldn't have happened. How am I dealing with that? And as I began to get introspective and study my own, I realized we all have baggage, right? Some of us tiny bags, some of us huge bags. What role does that play in our ill health? Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Michelle Lamassa Schrader, for that information. Recall healing. Man, where does that have to go in the next 20 years? A lot of studies being done in that area. I'm very proud of her. Thank you, Mark Stengler, Dr. Mark Stengler, for really going over the science of supplements, right? There's a lot of it. And folks, thank you for learning a little bit about what causes cancer. I mean, a lot of things can cause cancer. Fungus, right? And then the flu shot. You're going to take it or not? The choice is yours and your doctor's. God bless you. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.